Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, the proprietor of Horror Mansion, it's Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, buddy. Hope you are.
I'm good, man. Busy weekend. We're football fans. Obviously, you're all decked out in your Jet stuff. I don't know how you could even possibly at this point, but good on you for that, especially if you're watching college football, trying to project who we're getting in the draft or any of that stuff, or who's trying to dodge us in the draft. It's a very sad time as a Jets fan. But this episode, very excited because horror obviously has been a huge part of, especially the last, probably 5-6 years. It's just been so heavy in the rotation for films every single year. And 2026 is no different. So we are going to cover our top 5 most anticipated horror movies of 2026. Some of them coming right around the corner. So we will, of course, get shit from people to be like, you can't anticipate a movie that's coming out next week or this week or whatever, but we will still go through and talk about what we're excited about. And then up top, Shane, we're going to cover some epic chimp madness with the movie PRIMATE that came out over the weekend, which, was second at the box office to Avatar, a valiant effort from a small movie like this. Yeah. So let's talk about PRIMATE.
Let's go, buddy.
It made 13.4 million worldwide. That's great on them. 11 million domestic. This is directed by Johannes Roberts, who has made some of probably, especially a couple of them, probably the movies that if you were like, oh, he did stuff in this franchise, you'd be like, oh, but he didn't do that one, did he? Oh, yes, he did. He made The Strangers Pray at Night, which was like the Strangers one that everybody was like, until the most recent ones. He made Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, which again, probably towards the bottom of the pile of the Resident Evil franchise. And he also made 47 Meters Down, and I believe the sequel to that as well. This is also co-written by Ernest Riera, who wrote the script for Nowhere, the breakout hit on Netflix, the Stranded at Sea breakout hit that was for them. What was that, 2 years ago now?
Yeah,
I believe. It's an interesting cast, a lot of young talent that I was mostly unfamiliar with. The only person like going in that I knew was Troy Kotzer, who was the father in this, the deaf father in this that I guess has a relation. The mother had the relationship with the chimp initially, right? Ben. And then he's kind of taken over some of that or has like communication stuff. I don't know. He is it like a book signing? Like he's become this kind of bigger figure that's the reason why he's away while the monkey's at play. So we'll get into all of that. But as far as PRIMATE goes, what did you think of this one? It was pretty straightforward, but I think both of us kind of like when we were talking right after we both saw it, it was like, it wasn't exactly what I expected. It was sort of what I expected, but I at least admired some stuff about this one.
Yeah, my expectations were kind of low, but when I saw this film, I'm like, you know what? It was tension filled. I really liked it. It had me at the edge of my seat. The third act didn't really fall the way I wanted it to fall, but up until then, like them being trapped in the pool, I thought was pretty cool. Like some of the scenes the director shot, I was like, okay, I can dig this. I for the large part of this film, dug it for what it was. It's a straightforward chimpanzee has rabies. It goes nuts. It rips people's faces off. Like that's, it gave me what I wanted. It gave me what I wanted. I thought it was pretty freaking cool. I love the practical effects in this movie. Creature feature films. I thought this was right up there with it. So I had a good time with this movie. Again, the third act didn't really fall. It's funny you mentioned the actor from up top because I wrote that down in my notes. Like I didn't know he was actually deaf because you saw him in Black Rabbit. He was like, and I thought maybe he was playing a character from that, but no, he's actually apparently deaf, and I did not know that heading into this film. So
Oh, then you didn't see him. He was up for or did he win? He won Best Supporting Actor for Coda
Yeah.
during the COVID times.
And I didn't even know
Uh,
he was in Coda. I totally forgot that. I blanked it out. But
yeah, he
yeah.
was a dad in that as well. That was like their whole thing. The family had to learn
Yep.
sign language because she had two deaf parents and all
Yep.
that. But he was also in an episode of Seinfeld too. If you go back, like he's been around for a long time. It's just, for prominent stuff, he's only been a few high profile ones where you're like, now I actually recognize like, oh, that's Troy Kotzer,
Yeah.
since Coda, basically.
Well, I'm glad he's getting his shine because he deserves it. But yeah, this film is
Absolutely.
everything I wanted. It was entertaining. It was good. So what a way to kick off the horror, I quote unquote, season with this film.
Right. Yeah, like I said, the admirable parts are that the practical effects is real. Like, and in fact, if you look at the IMDb or whatever, that's a real person in there. I don't know how much they manipulate it with him in the suit all the time, or how they did the creature exactly, but it's listed as a person who's like, I don't know if he does MMA or he has like, some kind of fitness background or whatever, but someone who can do those kind of maneuvers while also acting, and doing those. Where at some points I was like, that's cool, but at some other points I was like, that's a guy. Like a chimp would never make that move. A chimp would
Right.
never do this. So it did kind of lose some of that stuff. But again, I more admire them for trying and making the effort on that, because I think it does work a lot of the times to amp up the intensity. I was a little confused when they put that graphic with the water relation to the rabies thing, like how much that was going to play in. Obviously, the pool does or whatever, but the way they almost explained it in the beginning, I got a little confused of like, wait, can you get rabies from staring at water? Like, what's going on? And then like it ended up working itself out, but I don't know. Like, I just was like, what? Why are we talking about water? I'm like, I think I would have been fine if it was like, okay, he got bit by a mongoose, clearly he has rabies, like it's still gonna happen. But
Right.
I didn't need the preamble. That's all I'm
Right.
saying. It's like monkey is gone monkey. It's exactly what's gonna go on. But to me, like it was I first and foremost, I just want to say big moment lately for wine bottles, as weapons. You have Stranger Things, where that's like a prominent thing to try to kill a Demogorgon with a wine bottle. Mrs. Wheeler, the whole standoff there. And in this movie, they did the same thing. Like the wine bottle was like almost like the key weapon towards the end in the third act. That was pretty amazing. You also had, was that, because he's not credited, was that Rob Delaney as the vet?
I want to say yes. I looked him up while I was watching the movie. It doesn't come up under his IMDb.
It doesn't come up at all, but I didn't see anyone else listed as the vet.
That's got to be him.
It has to be him. Yeah. But I'm like, why? Like, did he happen to be like, is he friends with somebody? Like, who? How does that work? Because I was like, why would he be uncredited? I'm like,
right.
He takes some risky stuff. He does some fun stuff. Like, just put your name on it. Like everybody knows who you are, Rob Delaney. Like I don't know why he would go up, but I was just like, oh, it's cool, Rob Delaney, and he got that fun little opening scene that kind of like kicks back a couple times. But yeah, I was just like, oh, that's fun. I haven't seen Rob Delaney in a minute, so yeah. So you get an extra bonus of somebody else in there, but I think the best stuff about this ultimately is seeing someone get their face ripped off or their jaw ripped off their face or however you want to put it. Like those are the better scenes, even if they're not the best setup or they're more drawn out in some of those setups. I think it's still exactly what you came for. And this has like, B movie creature feature, double feature, cult classics thing like down the line, where right now we're going to be like, this is fine. But like, if you're like, you pair it with the right movie and like, it's a bunch of people just like reminiscing, like 10 years. Remember that crazy movie, that crazy chimp movie from 10 years ago? And then you put it with a double feature with, some other kind of, like grizzly or some other kind of, or cocaine bear. And you're like, ah, yeah, what a time. Animals like messing people up. I think that's the destiny of this type of movie. But I didn't see people just being like, come on. I think the scores are kind of accurate. I think it has like a 2.8 on Letterboxd. I'm like, yeah, at best this movie is a 3. But it's, because it starts out, I think, well, but the third act really loses it where it's trying to be either more winking or just trying to amp up the action a little bit to where it gets almost a little unreal. So I
Right.
think that's where it kind of lost me. Is that the same for you, I guess?
Yeah, it was the scene where the younger sister all of a sudden became prominent. I'm like, okay, she was like dead in the pool for like an hour and a half. Like now all of a
She's
sudden
had multiple injuries, bad
now all
injuries
of a sudden
too.
she's
Yeah.
running around like nothing's happened. I'm like, okay. So that's
No.
where it kind of lost me. But at the end of the day, I ended up giving this a 3.5. You're gonna
No,
laugh.
stop it.
Yeah, you're gonna
Stop
laugh.
it.
I was
Yeah.
I liked the tension that it had me. I was like, I was at the edge of my seat. Like the scene where you talked about like the chimp pulling the jaw out from that kid and like try
That
to
was,
put it back into
yeah.
place. I was laughing so hard. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
actually kind of funny. I liked most of this film. Like
Yeah.
it surprised me. So yes, on the Shane score, it's a 3.5. I'm sorry, Andrew.
I wonder, because we did this last year, right? Now, again, I think this is a much better movie, so I don't want to, go down this road. But like, I really like The Damned. Like, it was like
Yes.
the first horror movie I saw of the year last year. And I was just like, oh man, what a start. This is so good. 3.5, rocked it, whatever. I think that holds up like pretty well as far as the year. I don't know if we go back, if you're just going to be like, oh yeah, no, Primate fucking rocks it. Like, I don't know if this one's going to hold up for you. I think you're just excited to start the year, maybe start a new list. It's the new page. It's turning the script. It's a little, you're watching a lot of TV. You finally get back out to the theaters and you're like, yeah, fucking ripping jaws. Let's do it.
Probably so, but I'm staying pat. And it's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking about The Damned when I was watching this because that was the first film that we saw in January. It was a good kickoff to the horror season. And I'm like, this is a good kickoff to the horror season right now. Like this movie,
yeah,
to me, set the tone for like, all right, let's go. I'm in.
Generally speaking, we've started to see this like at least Valentine's Day or close to Valentine's Day is when horror likes to dip itself in officially. But we're being like bombarded, it seems very early with January and February horror or horror adjacent movies. And it's going to show up in our top 5s. But that's why we kind of wanted to do this now, because there's going to be so much, it feels like, with a lot of directors or like franchises or things that we like or that have been good over the years that are now going to come back into prominence. Are you excited by all that?
Yes, I am very excited about this year. I think this is gonna be a good year for horror films, especially like this month and next month. Like you said, Valentine's Day. I think it's gonna be a lot. So I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, we literally have every flavor. Like when I was doing the research for our top 5 picks that we'll get to in a second, like it just seemed like it had every bit of, you have indies like that look pretty good that aren't attached to anything, just someone taking a flyer on a good horror script, right? And then there's, we have return of certain franchises that haven't been around for a few years. You have continuations of, major franchises that are coming back, like your Scream one. Well, that might come up in some way. And then just the directors who have been so good at horror over the last few years. There's a lot of those in this year too. So it could shape up to quite a very good year. I just don't, when I was looking at it, I'm like, I don't know how deep it is, but I think there might be more that might, surprise us as the year comes along.
Right. Yeah. I'm in the same boat as you.
All right. Then let's get to our top 5s, Shane. Top 5 horror picks for this year, 2026. Very exciting. I was surprised that we had as much crossover as we did, and there were certain ones that we'll probably have in our honorable mentions that is like surprising a little bit, that maybe like we both kind of omitted them, especially one in particular, and we'll get there. Maybe even two. Let's start at number five, and number five is a you pick. So I'm going to let you take over on this one. You put a legend in the field, Sam Raimi, his latest film. Talk about Send Help. This was our number five.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this. Rachel McAdams and the
Dylan
guy's name.
O'Brien.
Yeah, Dylan O'Brien. Like,
Who I just saw in Twinless this year. He's had a bunch of good roles in a row. He's really kicking up, and I like it for him.
yeah, so like they're on an island, like he's the typical a-hole boss, and they end up in a
Yeah.
plane crash. They end up stranded on an island. It's just him and her, and she kind of becomes the dominant force. And I am so looking for, like, I just love the trailers. Like, I love Rachel McAdams in this kind of like film. So like I'm all about this film. Like, I want her. I'll be so mad if they twist it around where he ends up surviving and she doesn't. Like, I want her to like really kick his ass in this movie. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, like even though it seems like most of the movie is going to be on that island, there are other like kind of supporting characters, of course, because it's Sam Raimi. Bruce Campbell is in this movie, everybody. So don't think that even though it's kind of like almost a two-hander for most of the film, Bruce will get his shine. Don't worry, everybody. But Dennis Haysbert's here too. There's a few other people in the supporting cast. So, I'm intrigued. I always like Sam Raimi. Do you have like a thing? Like, is it Spider-Man? Is it Evil Dead? Is it something in particular? I think we were even talking with Tommy off our last episode a little bit about Sam Raimi. And
yeah, for me,
you almost all have a favorite.
For me, it's the Evil Dead series, like Army of Darkness. Like that's
right.
it for me.
Yeah,
like that trilogy, sure. Especially the third one. I'm more of a Army of Darkness person than I am Evil Dead. So I'm all about that. And of course the Spider-Man movies, like Spider-Man 2, like one of the best comic book films ever made. So I'm a big Raimi fan. I did not like, I will admit though, the last movie he did.
So not Drag Me to Hell?
Yeah, Drag Me to Hell. Yep. I was not the biggest fan of Drag Me to Hell, but I liked it, didn't love it. But again, I'm all in on this film.
Because I was about to say, I don't think that's his last, because if you remember, he is firmly entrenched in the MCU. He did Doctor Strange, and yes, Multiverse of Madness. I don't want anybody yelling at me, but between that, but yeah, Drag Me to Hell seems to be, I think, the last time he was in the horror range, at least. So we'll see how this one goes. This one comes out only, in a couple weeks?
2 weeks, yeah, 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, so we'll find out sooner rather than later. Number 4 is my pick that was up pretty high because the trailer for this was in front of Primate. So I don't know. Do you see the trailer for Psycho Killer?
Yep, sure did.
And yet it wasn't high on your list. That thing looks dope. No? Didn't tickle you?
It made my like right outside the top 5.
Okay. This is directed by Gavin Polone. This is, I believe, his directorial debut, starring Georgina Campbell from Barbarian, Malcolm McDowell, and several others. This is written by Andrew Kevin Walker, who wrote the scripts for Seven, The Killer, and The Game, all from David Fincher. If you're watching the trailer, it kind of has a little bit of that like crime thriller noir shot way, like a creepy Fincher way. So it kind of has that mock-up, which probably is what did it for me ultimately. This is about a police officer who tracks a killer after her husband, a highway patrolman, becomes one of his victims. And you see it in the trailer where the guy has him pulled over and then just like shoots him point blank and then drags him a little bit. And then his wife, I believe, is also a highway, or like, obviously it says police officer, but I think she is also a highway patrolman or was in the car with him or however it works, because she's like right there. But yeah, she gets obsessed and then tracks it down, and it turns into like, it looks almost like, I don't know, satanic cult stuff, and satanic panic stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's what Andrew Kevin Walker does. He likes to get grimy, and I'm like, I want to get grimy with him. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I was there was a few good trailers, a lot of them all horror in front of Primate, and this was I think the best one of the ones I saw.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about this one too. It just didn't quite crack my top 5 because again, we'll go into our honorable mentions.
Yeah,
And I sent you my list for my top 5, so I just couldn't get this quite there, but I am excited about it.
gotcha. Number 3 is a divisive one for you, I know, because you didn't love Robert Eggers that much until we both ended up really liking Nosferatu. And to be encouraged, this is at number 3 for Werewolf, which we both kind of like laughed at. It's like, really, you're just gonna do every
Yeah.
standard creature feature kind of a thing as you're coming off a vampire movie. Now we're gonna do werewolf, but he's literally just assembling the team back together. Aaron Taylor Johnson, Lily Rose Depp, Willem Dafoe, all in this. This takes place in medieval Britain. A mysterious creature stalks the foggy countryside, transforming local folklore into terrifying reality as villagers face an ancient supernatural threat. What made you put Werewolf high on your list?
It was based off of Nosferatu. Like, I loved
Yeah,
that
it
movie,
was so
like,
good.
loved that movie, and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Okay, he's going into the same bag," and I'm a big Aaron Taylor Johnson fan, as you know. Like, he's my
right.
guy. So, you put him in that and coming off of Nosferatu, like, what can go
Yeah,
wrong? Like, seriously, like, I'm all in it. He wants to do werewolf, mummy, like, creature from Black Lagoon, let's go. Like, do them all. I don't care.
sure.
Like,
Yeah,
let's go. So I'm super excited coming off of Nosferatu because
yeah,
that was one of the best movies I saw that year. I think we're both in agreement
yeah.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah, we both, I believe I picked it in our draft that year. It was like definitely a top 5 of the year film for 2 years ago in 2024. But yeah, like the one thing that Robert Eggers is really good with, even if his movies don't work, is the exceptional production design and detail that he puts into. He leaves no stone unturned. And the more that he can get into a long-standing story, a folklore thing. You saw what he did with Nosferatu. I think he just has this right in the bag. Like this is in his wheelhouse of the stuff that we think he's best at. And I think that's what makes me so excited for this particular one.
Yep.
So I'm glad that it's here at number 3. Number 2 comes out this week, buddy. We are gonna find out. We are anticipating it for a couple more days. 28 years later, The Bone Temple. This one's going to be directed by Nia DaCosta this time, who, did Candyman, the update on that one that came out a few years ago. This stars Ralph Fiennes, who was in the previous incarnation of 28 years later. Also Jack O'Connell, who you saw at the very, very end of the prior film from last year. This is catching up with Spike, who we saw again was a prominent feature from the last film. He's inducted into Jimmy Crystal's gang, all the tracksuit boys you saw at the end there on the mainland. As Spike is inducted into their gang, Dr. Nelson, played by Ralph Fiennes from the previous film as well, makes a discovery that could alter the world. So I will say, like, the main thing from the trailer to me is just again the production design. I
Yep.
just love the actual bone temple, which you saw prominently in the first one, and a lot of the creature stuff is still working here, and it's still Alex Garland's script. So I think again, if you're a fan of the last film, which we both were, I can't see how you're not excited for this one.
Yeah. And this seems to be very different. That's why I'm excited about this one. This seems the
Yeah,
tracksuit gang and their jujitsu, whatever you want to call it, like their
yeah,
MMA
yeah,
stuff. Like it excites me. So
sure,
I'm looking forward to
yeah,
this film based on that. I think it's going to go into a totally different direction than 28 years later, which I did enjoy. We
yeah.
broke it down here. I liked the first half of that film more than the second half of the film. Once it became Aaron Taylor lists, I didn't jive with it as much. But
Well, that works for you, right?
right, yeah. But
Yeah.
again, the direction of this film, I think it's going to be crazy. I'm excited to see where they go with this film.
Yeah, I think regardless of where you probably cross over in terms of that film, I think Ray Fiennes is definitely still a standout and a happy return here in terms of the plot that's this is gonna enter, because you can't have two different positions in this world than Jimmy Crystal's gang and the Dr. Kelson character of
Yeah.
Ray Fiennes. So because it's like the calm, pragmatic doctor versus these like lunatics in wigs and tracksuits, with a whole like cult family thing going on. Yeah, I don't see how this is gonna come head to head, but we'll find out.
Soon.
Especially if he has some discovery, because I don't think the trailer really launches into that part of it
It
too
does
much.
not. Nope. It does not.
So that'll
So
be the more intriguing part once the movie actually comes along. Number one, we both agreed, which was very nice to see. But how can we not when you're just betting on directors at this point, and nobody's, not many are doing horror any better than Zach Kreger. So we picked Resident Evil as our number one. It launches into the world of Resident Evil. He's kind of gone back and forth where it's like it's not a continuation of any kind of plot lines that are previously existing. And even really, it's mostly just more about being in that world and having something original through there, as opposed to, doing some prominent storyline from the game itself. So that's where I'm kind of intrigued the most. It says it follows a hapless courier tasked with delivering a package to a remote hospital. He soon finds himself caught in the middle of an outbreak and must fight through the hordes of mutated creatures to survive. This is starring Austin Abrams, who we saw in Weapons, who we liked in the scenes. He was like the thief that they tracked down or whatever, the guy who was like camping out in the middle of the woods. And
yep.
he was a standout in Weapons. He kind of gets lost in all the other stuff that has gone along with, where it is in award season and everything else, and the standout characters from that. But I thought he was excellent. This also has Paul Walter Hauser and Zach Cherry. So where do you sit with this? Like, is it again just literally betting on Zach Kreger?
I'm betting on the director. And honestly, like I do like the original movies. Like I'm a big Resident Evil fan. I played the game.
I like the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not going to say all of them.
Yeah.
But for the most
Yeah.
part, I do like the Resident Evil movies. Love the game. And I'm betting on the director because he's 2 for 2. And it's a hot 2 for 2. Like he is
It is.
blowing it out the park right now. So like you put him with an IP like this, it excites me. Like I think we're both hesitant. We're like, why is he doing Resident Evil? Like,
Yeah.
okay, we don't want to really, but you know what? Throw that all to the side. I'm in on this
Yeah.
one, man.
Well, in the same way you're excited, like I get excited when a director who's really good gets excited. And I've seen interviews with him where he's talking about this project and how long he's thought about this and how quickly it came together because of how long he's been thinking about this. So to me, I'm like, yes, all right, I'm willing to go with you on this. This is not just some IP grab kind
Right.
of thing. This is, I had a idea before I even started launching into Barbarian and all these other ones. So to me, I'm like, yes, I will go along for the ride with anything Zach Kreger does. And I actually, I'm very interested in Austin Abrams here to see how much he's got, because that was such a small role in Weapons, but he was very good. Young actor. Like, what is this guy going to do now?
Right.
Like, how is this going to go over?
So I think it's a good call that this is a passion project for Krager. So
Right.
that's where I'm excited. I'm like, if he has that much love and he wants to go for it, like let's go. I'm in. Totally in.
Absolutely. So yeah, and like we talked about, a lot of these coming out, so like the 28 years later and Send Help, we're going to get in the next few
Yep.
weeks. Some of these are a little undated or looking maybe, I would assume Werewolf is probably going to be towards the end of the year.
Yep.
Either we're going to see Halloween or into December, like how Nosferatu was, depending on what they think of it, especially if it's an awards player. I can imagine it might have the same kind of life as Nosferatu.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I'm very intrigued on these, and we have a bunch of honorable mentions. The one that I don't know, the two of us, and knowing what movies we like and knowing each other over the years, I thought at least one of us was going to put Ready or Not 2 on our list, but
It
and I know we're both looking forward to it, but I don't know if you had the same feeling where it's like, I love Samara Weaving. I think the cast looks interesting, but it definitely just looks like the same thing. And
Yep.
until I see maybe more, or until I just straight up watch it, it's going to be, I'm in, but.
Yeah. Same here. Same here. I saw the trailer. I was like, I'm in. I love Samara Weaving. And I love the other actress who's been in a lot of films we talked about.
Well, plus Sarah Michelle Gellar's in there. I
Yeah.
believe
Yep.
maybe even Elijah Wood, I think I may have
Yep.
seen is in
Yep.
it or something.
Good
Yeah.
cast. But like you, I'm like, all right, this just seems like a retread of the first one. And that's
Right.
not to say it's bad. Like we both love the first
Yeah.
one.
No, that's fine.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, all right. But it didn't crack my top 5 because of that. I'm like, okay. So
If I
and
remember
the
correctly, it's Catherine Newton, right?
yeah, yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm like, it's right there. I'm looking forward to it. I think it comes out like in March or April. So
Yeah, it's soon because the
it's
trailer's
soon.
been out and everything else. So yeah, it's definitely in the next couple
Yep.
months here.
Yep.
Did you have any other ones? I mean, I have some. I
I
went kind of deep. There's a lot of, like I said, a lot of good trailers before Primate, where some of them tickle my fancy. Do you have one off the
I
dome?
had one other one, and that's The Bride.
Right.
I'm very intrigued about that movie. Christian Bale.
Yeah.
It looks
the
like
tone is so interesting. I
it's
couldn't
weird
get
'cause
into it yet.
it does remind me of like Bonnie and Clyde. That's what it reminds me of. Like
Yes,
that's
right.
what it's setting up to be. So
Right.
I don't know what tone she's going for. So, but it definitely has piqued my interest. But I don't know if it's going to be a Bonnie and Clyde. I don't know if it's going to be a horror film. Like I don't know where she's dipping her
Right.
toes in on this, but it's
Right.
intriguing nonetheless. Like, let's go.
And Maggie Gyllenhaal is a good director.
Yep.
You know, like she did The Lost Daughter. I think even we both like that, didn't we?
Yep.
Or did you catch that one too?
Yep.
I thought, yeah. And so that's been a few years since she's been able to do that. And Jesse Buckley and Christian Bale, I mean, like two of our favorites. So it should grab me, but I just don't have the tone just right in my head yet to know, okay, I'm like, obviously I'll watch it, but like as far as like anticipation and getting the hype level going, I watched the trailer and I'm like, okay, it seems fun, it seems interesting. Where is it going inevitably? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like a little bit further down. There's some other ones that like I saw. I'll start with the one I saw the trailer for. Did you catch the trailer for Undertone?
Did not.
So of course there's a podcaster in it, so we have to talk about it. But it was an interesting thing of like hearing if you slowed down and play stuff backwards in a recording that they hear kind of like a hidden voice and it unleashes some monster in the ether, and it was creepy as hell, this trailer. So that made me interested in that one. The movie Onslaught, this is directed by Adam Wingard, who I thought would have tickled your fancy, especially because he's directed multiple Godzilla Kong movies. He also has a horror background in doing You're Next and The Guest. So this is Adria Arjona and Dan Stevens, which anytime Dan Stevens is a creep, I'm like, let's do it. I need to have that in my life. So I think this one also intrigued me. This one's about a mother living in a trailer park who tries to protect her loved ones from a threat that has escaped from a secret military base while mercenaries try to contain it. So
Perfect.
A guy who has big creature feature stuff, has a horror background, kind of doing a small 95-minute just wham bam version of this. I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Sign
I
me
want
up.
to see this myself. Yeah. Especially when Dan Stevens is playing a German scientist. Again, anytime it's just he's gonna play somebody weird, and I'm all in. Rebecca Hall's in this too. It's got a very good cast. Hokum, did you hear about this one?
Did not hear about this one.
So this one is Adam Scott, I know, is in it. I think it either already went to festivals or it has a trailer or something where I saw this. This is a horror novelist visits a remote Irish inn to spread his parents' ashes, unaware the place is rumored to be haunted by a witch. This is this Damian McCarthy's movie after Oddity. Did you end up watching
I
Oddity? I
did.
thought you
Yeah.
did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So imagine that same level of creep. I'm hoping for a better story, and of course, Adam Scott at the center of this. So that intrigued me as
Yeah.
well. And the trailer, the witch character in there. Oh my god,
Okay.
you won't want to go to sleep anytime soon after
Okay.
watching that character. It'll freak you out. Um, I also had Mother Mary. Are
Nope.
you familiar with this one at all? So this is Anne Hathaway. There's already a trailer for this one too, if you wanted to check that one out. Oh, this is directed by David Lowery, who I have a iffy relationship with because I wasn't the biggest fan of The Green Knight, but I know a lot of people love that movie.
Ugh.
He's even done, I think he did the live action remake of Pete's Dragon and some other films. This is starring, like I said, Anne Hathaway and Michaela Cole, who's really good. Hunter Schafer, who we've liked in stuff recently, especially with Dan Stevens. What was the name of that weirdo movie? Cuckoo, right?
Cuckoo. Yep.
Cuckoo.
Yep.
So Mother Mary is this weird thing where Anne Hathaway's a pop star and Michaela Cole is like her designer and like her friend, and she needs like this dress made for this special appearance thing, and then it turns into just this psychotic, possessed material stuff that just goes off the rails. Trailer's out already. It looks interesting, but again, I just have just enough. Like, I don't fully trust David Lowery. Some people really love him, so there are people who are like, this is high on their list. I'm kind of eh. So again, trailer looked good. I'm willing to watch it, but
Okay.
and especially Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
Love Anne Hathaway. And then there's a movie from Osgood Perkins. Where are you sitting with Osgood Perkins right now? Because I'm like, I don't. Long Legs seems like forever ago, and even that one, I was like, I liked a lot of aspects, but I didn't love it. And every movie since, I've just been like, I don't know what to do with you
I'm
anymore, man.
probably
Like,
more down on him than
yeah.
most people.
Yeah.
Long Legs
The
being
Monkey we didn't like.
Yeah. Long Legs being the
Keeper.
exception.
Did you end up seeing Keeper or no?
I did not. Based off what you said, I was like, yeah.
No. Oh yeah.
Yep.
No. And the scores are trash. Like,
and then he
just didn't work.
Black. Oh God. He did the other one he did was like Black Coat's Daughter or something like that with
Oh, from a long time ago.
Yeah. And that wasn't good either. So I'm like, yeah, I'm more down on him than anything else, but I'm willing to kind of see what he has. So
yeah, the Black Coat's Daughter.
Yeah, which was terrible. Yeah. So I'll watch it, but I'm not a big fan. Like, he's on a slippery slope for me.
Yeah, his new movie is called The Young People. It centers on a couple of school friends, one of whom starts to develop red flag behavior. We've all been there. Yep. Nico Parker, who you liked in Suncoast, is actually one of the friends in there. So you'll like that. Lola Tong, Nicole Kidman, Heather Graham, Johnny Knoxville is in this one.
Oh.
So again, things that tickle my fancy, but it just couldn't get over the line. Then there, have you heard of Other Mommy?
No.
Okay. This one's interesting too. This is by Rob Savage, who he did Host that came out during COVID. He also did Dash Cam and the Boogeyman remake that was out. So he's had a few horror movies in recent memory. This stars Jessica Chastain and Jay Duplass, amongst others. This is about a young girl as her family and their home are haunted by a sinister entity that is determined to take up residence inside her. But first, it needs to persuade her to let her in. So again, creep factor high, all those kind of things. They also had the trailer for They Will Kill You. Did you see this trailer?
I did not.
It's Zazie Beetz in a movie that very much seems like a Ready or Not type.
Yep. Did see that trailer. Highly intrigued. I want to see it.
I think it'll be a cool freak out. I just want it to separate itself a little bit more than just being like hey, there's just a bunch of people here who wants to kill you, and now you have to escape. I want
A
just
little
a little
more.
bit more,
Yeah.
but
I think that comes
again,
out
should be
March,
fun.
actually.
Yeah, it's soon for
Yep.
sure. Um, Terrifier 4. I've seen all the other ones. I'll end up seeing this one too. It'll probably make a shitload of money.
Ugh.
As far as like, the general scale of where these things are going, it seems to be getting bigger and bigger.
Right.
And then, do you care about the Silent Hill stuff? Because I saw the trailer
Nope.
for that, and I just don't care.
Nope. Don't care. Like,
Okay.
didn't care about the other movies. Didn't care about the video game. So I'm like, yeah, okay. Return to Silent Hill,
Yeah.
I think it's called. I'm like, no. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
not.
exactly what it's called.
Let's
Yeah.
not.
And again, I'm curious if people out here are listening to this or whatever, if you have something that you've seen, maybe you're doing deeper dives, some up and coming stuff that's coming through, please be sure to drop a comment or leave us a message. We're at Recent Act Pod on the socials. Be sure to, send us something and let us know, because we're always looking for new and upcoming, especially Shane, who loves to go, streaming dumpster diving, going through, your Amazon Primes or Hulu Weens or, any of these kind of holidays as it goes. I know Sundance is coming up. There's a movie called Rock Springs that has Kelly Marie Tran, Benedict Wong, and Jimmy O Yang in a horror movie there, and I think there might be a few others. So if any of those get picked up, or if those have soon to be release dates out there, maybe those might be intriguing as well. But again, that's a lot of movies. I think a
It's a
lot
lot.
of stuff, at least like, is right there on the surface with a lot of like directors who we've liked at least at some point, if not like doing their highest work in the case of Zach Kreger. So where's your level? You feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good about this year, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah.
like we talked at the top, it came out the gates pretty strong, and I'm excited. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, with this many, it feels like we're gonna get like a horror movie every week or two, like as it goes through, or every couple of weeks. That we're just gonna be like, okay, well, yeah, sign me up, man. Like, whether it's the small time ones or something we might catch on streaming or any of those. There's a lot of like crime thrillers out too this year. There's a lot of really big genre fare, and
Yep.
I think it's all from the fact that horror has just become this bankable thing that everybody's just going back to the well of, let's just freak people out, let's do some wild stuff playing in genre and really messing with things. So I'm for it.
Yep. Sign me up. Let's go.
Awesome. That's it for us. Like I said, subscribe, follow us on the socials at Recent Act Pod. If you're catching this in the audio, be sure to, and you watch a lot of YouTube, we are now on YouTube. So please check us out that way. If you're on YouTube and, you also do the podcasting thing, like to take it on the go, and you want to do it, we're on Spotify, Apple, everywhere else there as well. So be sure to subscribe to us there, so you don't miss an episode, because we like doing a lot of this stuff. It's going to be a very interesting year. Like we said, Bone Temple is coming this week, so we should be covering that in detail. So be sure to come back next week for more recent activity.